All right, we are live. Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Tran here. I'm your host today for today's free live training session. First off, before we get into anything, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you do me a favor and just type 1 in the comments if you can hear me okay? And while you're doing that too, also just type where you're calling from or watching us from. I'm from Arizona, USA, so hopefully there's some folks from the local area, but I know this is a huge Beaver Builder community throughout the world. Everyone is from everywhere, so it's amazing to have you here. Oh, so it looks like I got some confirmation. There are plenty of ones. We are good to go. That is great to hear. Oh man, look at me. Look at all the folks from all over the world. So we got some folks from Ohio. Looks like we got someone from Maryland, the Netherlands, Washington, Florida, the UK, Texas, Oregon. So many people. This is amazing. Pennsylvania. I love it. I love seeing all the folks from all over the world. Aruba. This is amazing. So thank you so much for joining us. I know the time zone is all over. So if you're joining us in the morning, in the evening, past midnight, thank you so much for taking the time. So first, I want to say the format of this session, how it's going to go, is we're going to be doing a step-by-step live demonstration on how to use the box module. Afterwards, there'll be a live Q&A. So make sure you keep your questions towards the end and we'll make sure that we will address them one by one. So next, I know you're all excited to see our guest host. I'm going to introduce you to Leah Finch. So Leah Finch is our content marketer at Beaver Builder. She's been with us for over 5 years. You've probably heard her voice many times. She's actually the course creator for all of the courses on our free Beaver Builder course library. She's also created a lot of our YouTube videos. And so you probably heard her voice, but now you actually get to see her live. So welcome, Leah. How you doing today?
Hey, Anthony. Hey, everybody. Doing good. Happy to be here. Excited to do this live demo.
Awesome.
Go
Awesome. Yeah, we're
get my
excited.
screen ready.
Yeah, we're excited. And I'm going to go ahead and transition you to show your screen. So the stage is all set for you. Go ahead and take it away. But before you do, let me just make sure that your screen is going to show. Okay, looks like we're all set. You got your 3 cards and go ahead and take it away, Leah. Thank you.
All right, so this is the demo that I've prepared for you guys today. It's just a regular 3-card layout. And what I like about the box module is how easy it is to make these tidy little layouts with the button lined up down here at the bottom. I have set up my global styles here to show you. I have a paragraph font set up, I have a heading font set up, and I have my button styles down here already styled. So these things down here are what my default buttons look like. I do have a background color set up in my theme customizer settings. So that's the work that I've done so far. Okay, let's get started here with adding our first box module onto the page. And then I'm going to go right into the outline panel. I'm going to control click. This could be a right click if you're using a mouse. I'm on a Mac here, so for me it's control click, and I'm going to duplicate. And then I'm going to nest my second box module inside of my first module. So this nested one is going to be my first card. And so let's add a heading module. We're going to add a text editor module. I'm just going to grab some lorem ipsum text here from loremipsum.io. Paste that in, and we are going to add a button module. All right, so back in the outline panel, I'm going to go back to our card container, and I'm going to change the direction here from row to column. The row direction is going to have our content cascading from left to right, and the column direction is going to cascade from top to bottom, which is what we want here. And now we're ready to duplicate this first card twice for a total of 3 cards. And I want to make sure that I have a different amount of text in each of my cards, just because that's usually how things go. All right. What do you think so far, Anthony? Do you have any comments here on the demo?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that really stood out to me was how you were using the outline panel along with, creating your box, using the box module to kind of set up your layout. Being able to like see it that way and duplicate your box modules or cards, it actually makes it a lot easier. So I think using the outline panel was kind of a big aha moment for me.
Yes, I agree. That outline panel is a non-negotiable for most box module layouts. And I do actually have another tip related to the outline panel, which is that you can label your containers. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that here just to show you how that works. And this is a pretty simple 3-card layout, but sometimes we do these elaborate box module layouts where we might have like 20 to 50 box modules if we're doing something that's very fancy. So labeling things can really help in that case. I'll just give some simple labels here. Card 3. All right, so moving on, we're going to go back into our outermost container settings, our parent container, and I'm going to give this a size because right now our container is just taking up our whole page, but I want to limit the size here, and I'm going to do that with max width, and I'm going to set a max width of 1200 pixels. And then I'm just going to go ahead and align that parent container center. So to illustrate what the max width is doing, I'm going to open up the responsive editor, and you can see that once I go under 1200 pixels, things will start shrinking down, flexing into the available space. And it will stop at 1200 pixels because that's as big as it can get. So conversely, if I have just a regular old width of 1200 pixels, when I flex down, the content will just spill off of the page. So go ahead and change that back to max width, 1200 pixels. I'm gonna exit the responsive editor. And then I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of margin up here at the top so that our content isn't sitting right up on the ceiling. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do here in this parent container for now is I'm gonna increase the gap so that we have a little bit more space between our cards. All right, so let's go ahead and move into the children tab of our parent container. And we are going to stylize our children containers a little bit. What's cool about this is that we can add some styles to all three cards all at the same time. So here I changed the background color. I'm here again in the children tab of the parent container. I'm going to add a background color. I'm going to add a border radius. 17 pixels all the way around. Let's do a box shadow. And let's give it a little bit of padding all the way around 40 pixels. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is make all of our cards an equal width. And we're going to do that by using the grow and shrink fields here. So we're going to start by setting a flex basis. And the basis is just the starting size of our children container. So let's see what it looks like at different sizes. But in this instance, I'm actually just going to set my basis to 0. I'm going to set grow to 1, and I'm going to set shrink to 1. So starting from 0 is basically just going to let shrink and grow take over immediately and let our cards flex with our viewport. And since they're all set to 1 and 0, they're going to each claim an equal amount of space in the parent container. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to resolve is how our buttons are staggered, and a much cleaner look would be to have all of our buttons sitting down at the bottom, which they're going to line up with this one down here. So to do that, we go back into the outline panel. I'm going to go into the card 1 container tab, and I'm going to set the vertical line to space between. Next, I'm going to grab a box module and put it inside the card. I'm going to open up the outline panel, and I'm going to go ahead and nest my heading module and text module inside of this box module that is inside of the card container. I'm going to open up the settings there for that, and I'm going to change it to column so that our content in there, our heading and our text module, are going to cascade from top to bottom instead of left to right. And then I'm just going to repeat that process for our other two cards. So I'll open up the card container. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Open up the modules, grab a box module. I can actually just drag these modules from here as well. Then I'm going to open, that's the wrong one. I'm going to open up this extra box that's lumping these two things together, and I'm going to select column and space. Oops, this goes in this one. I missed a step here. So the outside one needs to be set to space between. So just to make the premise totally clear on this, I have the card container set to space between. I have the heading and text module grouped together in their own little box. So they stay together, but then the button gets spaced out down to the bottom. So I have one last card to go. Card 3. You're actually not going to see anything happen on this one because this has the most amount of content. But I'll still go through the motions by adding space between. I'm going to add an extra box module for the heading and the text editor to sit inside of. Then I need to make sure that that one is set to the column direction. So we are good on the largest screen size. And all that we have left to do here is check out our different screen sizes to make sure that we're mobile friendly and everything's looking good on every device size. So extra large looks good, but then when we hit large, which breaks around the same size as it actually might break at the exact size of our parent container, we're just too close here. We need a little bit of padding on our parent container. So make sure we select our parent container. And for anybody that isn't familiar with the responsive editor, how it works is anything that can have different settings for different screen sizes will have these little screen icons next to it. Like right now we're going to be working with the padding. So we're in the extra large screen setting, and then I click the little icon and it turns into a laptop icon, which signifies the large screen setting. And I can click it again to get tablet size, i.e. medium screen, all the way down to small, which is a mobile device. So this is reflecting the breakpoint here on the responsive editor. So here we're going to make sure that we're on the large screen setting, and then we're going to add a little bit of padding here. Now we're going to move into the tablet size. And I don't want my cards I want them to stack from top to bottom instead of being side by side like this. So I'm going to change the orientation from row to column. Now they're just going to stack on top of each other. And that is also going to make our mobile size look good. So I believe that we're good to go on every screen size now. And that's it. That's the end of the demo.
Well, that was great, Leah. I mean, one of the things that I liked towards the end was you explained how to do the mobile responsive settings, because that has been a common question that has come up a lot. Was once people create the box module layout, they were having a hard time figuring out how to stack the cards appropriately, especially for mobile devices. So for you to walk through that was great. And I just want to mention to everyone here that I know the box module is considered an advanced module. It is actually an optional module. You do not have to use it. People have been building websites for, gosh, like 10 years, where before we even had the box module. So it's very much an optional module. It's for advanced users. But I will say that a lot of folks that say that once they get over the learning curve, they have found it to be amazingly useful, and they use that mainly for all of their layouts going forward. So just want to put that out there. And so now I'd like to transition to the live Q&A session. If you've never been part of a YouTube live, I just want to explain that there's about a 15 to 30-second delay from the time you post a comment or question from the time that I actually see it. So if I don't respond right away or ask your question, please be patient. We will do our best to kind of go and get through them. The other thing I will mention is if there's a question that we cannot answer, please post it anyway. We'll take note and we'll try to answer it in a future training, email, blog post, or YouTube video. And then also, if there's something that's very urgent, of course, you are more than welcome to always email our support team. They are the best, and I'm sure you'll get your answers from there. So the next thing I was do, if you can do me a favor, because there's a lot of folks that are commenting, which is great. If you could just post a Q in front of your question, it kind of helps me filter out which one's your question, and I'll try to kind of ask them as they come in. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, go through some of these questions. The first one. Let's see here. Sorry, there's so many questions. I'm trying to filter them. Just be patient with me. All right, so our first question is coming from Stay Creative Chelsea. She asks, are there any pre-made box module templates? If not, can we get as many as possible? So yeah, do we have any templates or anything that you can share with us, Leah?
Yes, we have a ton of templates. So there's built into Beaver Builder, we have, so under templates here, you're going to see something that says pre-built modules here. That's this. All of these pre-built modules are box module content. So call outs. I think especially what I like here under these pre-built modules are the bento grids. I can drag one on here just so you can check it out. These are very cool. These are built using CSS Grid. And so there's that. And then we also have some templates on Assistant Pro. Let's see. I don't want to share my credentials on the live stream, so I'm not going to actually show that to you. But in Assistant Pro, under the Beaver Builder profile, there are these full site templates. So anything that is marked full site template, those templates are all built with the box module. Then we also have a course on the box module that has a ton of templates. Like every lesson has the lesson content available on it that you can download through Assistant Pro. So there's a ton of stuff out there, and that's really a great way to learn the box modules, to just reverse engineer some of the things that are available pre-built.
Well, Leah, I like that. A lot of folks are not even aware that there are those pre-built modules or box module template layouts. So it's a great way to see what's available, what you can do, kind of gives you some examples of different layouts. And as Leah mentioned, a great way to learn is to basically apply some of those pre-built modules, or I'm sorry, layouts into your project, and then just kind of click around and reverse engineer to see what kind of settings were placed to be able to, have it look that way. So that's just kind of like a tip. I'm going to go see if I can find another question. All right. So Jennifer asked, when should you use the box module instead of rows and columns?
Well, rows and columns are a lot more limited than the box module. So there's a lot of instances where you might want the box module instead. If you want your containers to flex with your screen. It basically, I guess, in a nutshell, I'd say when you want a more complicated layout would be if you have something, like this bento grid wouldn't, it might be possible with rows and columns, but probably not. I can't wrap my head around how you do that. So something like what we're looking at right now would be a good use case for using the box module.
Cool. So I'm just going to fire off another quick question. Looks like Ren Kessler asked, will this video be available on the Beaver Builder site? He says he needs to see it a few more times.
Yes, it will be on the YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel. I don't know how long it takes for the replay to set up, a day or something. Do you know, Anthony?
Yeah, it typically takes about 24 hours. So we'll make sure to send that out to everyone and make sure you get to see it again. Can you walk through let's go ahead and, looks like Denzo and a few other folks had mentioned this. Can you kind of walk through the grow and shrink one more time? I think we went through that, pretty quickly, of course, but maybe you could just share your screen again and then just kind of like give examples of how that area works.
Yes, definitely. So grow and shrink, that is, let me see if let's get back here on this, and I'm just gonna, actually we'll start with this one. Can I open my parent container? And then I had grow and shrink here with the basis of 0. So in this instance, they're all going to grow and shrink proportionally to the screen size. If I don't have anything set, I'll set that. Now that I have my container is at 1200, everything's just going to kind of, I'll close this. This isn't the demo that I just did, but this shows you that things can just really just spill off the page. So grow and shrink are just going to keep things in the viewport. I'll go back over to this one. I don't know what's with that original layout. I built that a while back, but I'm gonna open my outline panel and get rid of this that I put on. Get rid of this, remove. Okay, here we go. So flex basis, this is also something, we have a lesson in our course that's called National Parks Cards, and that goes over flex and shrink vertically. So that could be something that you could look at for that resource. But in this context, we're setting a basis, which is the default size, and we're just growing to fill up all the space. But we also, let's see if I can, we also want it to shrink with the space. So all of these are going to grow and shrink in relation to one another.
So there was a follow-up question that too, real quick. How you set it for 1 and 1. CK Beef asks, could we do 33% instead? Is that possible for each of them?
So the thing with flex shrink and flex grow in this context is that I'm doing it in the children tab of the parent. So I don't think that it's actually going to make a difference what this value is, because they're all going to be the same. If I was to set up flex shrink and flex grow on the individual cards, which actually, long story short, isn't really going to work in this context, but that's something that you can do. You can set up different values of shrink and grow per item, so that, let's say, for instance, I want the left card to take up more space than the other two cards. I could set up flex grow to 3, and then on the left one, and then set up flex grow to 1 on the middle one, and set up flex grow to 1 on the right one, so that what flex grow and flex shrink do is they dictate how much space each item takes in relationship to the other two cards. So there is a really great resource on this by CSS Tricks. Chris Coy, I think his name's Chris Coyer, who has this website, CSS Tricks, and he has a Flexbox cheat sheet that explains all of these things. And to be honest, like, it's not an easy thing to explain. And I think part of the reason that people find the box module a little bit intimidating is because some of these Flexbox concepts are not 100% straightforward to understand. And like, same thing with CSS Grid. So it's not Beaver Builder that's hard to understand. It's actually the CSS layout models that are a little bit hard to wrap our heads around sometimes. So if you want to get to know Flex Shrink and Flex Grow, then check out that resource by Chris Coyer on CSS Tricks.
Thank you for walking us through that. Let's transition to the next question, and I'll definitely point to some resources after the Q&A as well. Let's see. Catherine asks, do you start with a row first and then you add the box module inside this, or can you use the box module without rows? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, in this context, I am using it without a row. Actually, this one here, this one got weird, but this one that I originally built is inside of a row. I did that because I wanted to have a gradient on it. And I think that in a lot of instances, you're going to be wanting to put the box module layouts in a row because you're not just going to have 3 cards on a page with nothing else. So you can put box modules inside of rows, or you can make the box module the row.
Can you show us an example real quick, just dragging the box outside of a row?
Sure. Here's, see, I have a row here, and then I can drag it out of my row. My row is this spot with the gradient.
Yeah, so that's one of the unique features with the box module is, unlike other traditional Beaver Builder modules that you usually have to add it into a row or column, the box module can sit on its own by itself, or you can add it in a row. So you have the option of doing both, which is kind of nice. All right, let's see. So this next question comes from Laura. She says, I've been using the box module for several months now, and she's kind of stayed away from children. Can you kind of explain when you should be using children in the box? Or maybe demonstrate?
Yeah, all a child is a box. Once you have a box inside of another box, then you have a child. So let me see if I can pull up this other piece of demo content that I have that could make an aha moment for some people. Let's see if I can. Why don't you go ahead and move on to the next question while I find this other demo content?
Okay. So one thing I want to share while Leah's working on that is that we purposely kind of made this training session just focus on the box, right? So there's other complexities that you could add to this with like layer and grid. We purposely left that out because it would have been just too much information. But I will say the free box module course that's available on YouTube now, it's available on one of our course playlists, and you can get the free course on our course library. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you do, because Leah does a really deep dive, step by step. She gives you demo content that you can kind of play around with, and you can follow along as she builds it. And I think that will really help you learn how to use the box module and get a better understanding of how everything kind of relates to each other.
Okay, can you see my other piece of demo content where I have this header open?
Yep.
Okay, so this gray space that you see, this is the parent. Then I have another box in here that's the child, and that's all that parent and child means, is a nested box. Then I'm using this empty box module here with Flex Grow set to 3. And the purpose of that is because I want my menu here to stay over at the right. I can change this to different values, and it's going to take up different amounts of space in relation to the other containers. So I have 3 containers up here, 3 children in the parent. I'll label this here. Child 1 is the logo. Right. Child 2 is empty. And then child 3 is the menu. So I was using Flex Grow on this empty container here to space things out, which is something I actually like to do that a lot, to use these empty containers with Flex Grow 1. We can open up this other child container that has the logo in it, and if we set Flex Grow to that, Flex Grow to 1, then this will actually take up the equal amount of space as the empty one. Or we can set it to 2, and it takes up more space than the container that is set to 1. We can open up the third child, which is the box that has the menu inside of it. And we can set grow to all these different values that it's going to make this menu module grow in relation to the other 2 boxes at whatever number we set it to. We can make it grow a lot. We can make it grow, if we set them all to 1, they're all going to take up the same amount of space. So I hope that helps. This piece of content is easier to demonstrate, the Flex Grow thing, than the other one, the cards. Or we can take out Flex Grow on all 3 of these. And we can use the parent containers children tab. So what the children tab does is it makes all 3 of these containers are going to be changed by this. So we can set the Flex Grow to 1. So by using the children tab, just with one click, all 3 of these children have FlexGrow set to 1. So what do you think, Anthony? Does that make sense?
I mean, watching you through, you're the box module expert, so it clearly makes a lot of sense when you're presenting it that way. But I always have to kind of like check and play around with it myself as well.
Right.
One person asked, how many box modules can they use? Is there a limit?
I don't think there's a limit. I've seen certain layouts, those full site templates that I mentioned that are in Assistant Pro, and those are free. I've seen layouts that have like maybe 30 box modules all nesting, and that's why the outline panel becomes really important, because once you get so many box modules nested, then it can become difficult, to find your way around. So that's where the outline panel and the labeling inside of the outline panel can really come in handy.
Yeah, so actually one of our good friends and members of the community, Paul Lacey, who also helped with building our new design for our Beaver Builder website, he loves the box module. He says he uses it all the time. In fact, he's built complete websites just using box only. Like he says, now that he's discovered its power and flexibility, he says he always uses it, which is very exciting to hear that he's found a lot of value in it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I definitely will gravitate towards using the box module every opportunity that I get.
Yeah. So I got some folks that are asking about accessibility. Truth be told, Leah and I are not accessibility experts, but if you happen to see our last YouTube live, we had Amber Hines on the show, who is an accessibility expert. And so she has, obviously created that YouTube live. If you haven't seen it, it's available for you. You can watch the replay. And we also converted it to a course so you can watch it as well. And she's also offered, if you have more accessibility questions, she offered to come back if that's something that everybody wants. So if that is, please let us know in the comments. Another thing is, someone mentioned that they really love this live training. This is only our second time we've done this. If you really like this and you want to see more, please let us know. And if there's any specific topic that you want us to cover, please post it in the comments in the chat, so that way we can take note and see if we can bring that live for you. So I think it's about that time to wrap things up. I want to say, just first off, thank you so much for attending. I know a lot of you are coming from watching this live stream from all over the world. We really appreciate you being part of the Beaver Builder community. We have some really cool stuff that's coming soon. I wish I could tell you, but that's just like, I got to keep it a little bit secret just for a little bit longer, but I promise you, stick around with us. We got some amazing stuff coming to Beaver Builder. You're going to love it. It's going to take your design system to a whole new level. As mentioned, there will be a replay for this. So if you need to rewatch it, you can. It will be available on YouTube Live. I'll make sure to send you guys all an email with the link to the replay. And of course, if you haven't checked out the box module course, I'll make sure to link that as well. And thank you so much for being part of the community. Thank you so much for taking your time, and appreciate all the questions and comments. Have a great day. Bye.